Have a Node.js interview coming up? Wait, don't go in blind, because in this video, we're breaking down the top 20 most commonly asked Node.js interview questions that can help you land your first junior developer role. Whether you've just finished a course or are switching from frontend to backend, this video is your secret weapon. So grab your notepad and let's make sure you don't blank out in your interview. All right, let's dive right into the first question. Question 1. What is Node.js? Node.js is not a programming language or a framework. It's a runtime environment that allows JavaScript to run outside of the browser. It's built on Google's V8 engine, which makes it super fast. You can use Node.js to build server-side applications, APIs, and even real-time chat apps. Here's the pro tip. Interviewers often check if you say runtime environment, not framework. That's a key detail they look for. Question 2. What is the difference between Node.js and JavaScript? JavaScript is the language itself. Node.js is the environment that lets you execute JavaScript code on the server side. In short, JavaScript runs inside the browser, while Node.js runs on your computer or server. Question 3. What are some core modules in Node.js? Node.js comes with a bunch of built-in modules. Some of the most commonly used ones are FS for file system operations, HTTP for creating web servers, Path for handling file paths, and Events for working with event-driven programming. Question 4. What is an event loop in Node.js? This one is a must-know question. Node.js uses a single-threaded event loop architecture to handle multiple requests efficiently. Instead of creating a new thread for each request, Node.js uses the event loop to handle I/O operations asynchronously, making it non-blocking and super fast. Question 5. What is the difference between synchronous and asynchronous programming in Node.js? Synchronous code executes one statement at a time. Each line waits for the previous one to finish. Asynchronous code, on the other hand, doesn't wait. It uses callbacks, promises, or async await to run tasks in the background. Reading a file using fs.readFileSync is synchronous. Using fs.readFile is asynchronous. Question 6. What is callback hell in Node.js? Callback hell happens when you have too many nested callbacks, making the code hard to read and maintain. It looks like a pyramid of doom, where one callback is inside another and another and another. The solution? Use promises or async await to make your code cleaner and more readable. Question 7. What are promises in Node.js? A promise represents a value that will be available in the future, either resolved or rejected. It helps you avoid callback hell by using the .then and .catch methods to handle asynchronous results more cleanly. A promise is like saying, hey, I'll get this data for you, but it might take a bit. Once I have it, I'll let you know whether it worked or failed. Instead of nesting multiple callbacks, we use the .then for success and .catch for errors. That's the beauty of promises: clean, readable, and easy to debug. Question 8. What is async and await in Node.js? Async and await are modern ways to handle asynchronous code in a synchronous-looking style. They're built on top of promises, but make your code even easier to read. Let's say you have a function called getData. When you mark it as async, you can use await inside it. So instead of chaining .then calls, you just write something like wait for the file to load and then print the file contents. If something goes wrong, you can wrap it all inside a try-catch block. Try to read the file, and if an error happens, catch it and log the issue. It reads almost like normal English, but it's handling asynchronous operations under the hood. Question 9. What is Express.js? Express.js is a minimal and flexible Node.js framework that simplifies web and API development. It handles routes, requests, and responses, so you don't have to write everything from scratch. Think of it as a shortcut for building servers quickly. Question 10. What is middleware in Express.js? Middleware, are functions that have access to the request and response objects. It's like gatekeepers for your server routes. Every time a request comes in, middleware gets the first look. They can modify requests, run checks, or even stop the request from moving forward. They're often used for authentication, logging, and error handling. Think of it this way. When someone visits your site, middleware can log something like new request received. Then it passes the control to the next function using something called next. This next step means, okay, I'm done checking, you can move on to the next part. Middleware is super handy for things like authentication, validation, or error handling. Question 11. What is the purpose of the package.json file? Package.json is the heart of any Node project. It stores metadata like project name, version, dependencies, and scripts. It's how Node knows what libraries your project needs and how to run it. Question 12. What is NPM? NPM stands for Node Package Manager. It's where you install, update, and manage third-party packages. For example, npm install Express will download and save Express to your project. Question 13. What are streams in Node.js? Streams are used to handle data in chunks rather than loading it all at once. They're super useful for large files like reading or writing videos or logs efficiently. Node has 4 types: readable, writable, duplex, and transform streams. Question 14. What are buffers in Node.js? Buffers are temporary memory storage areas used when dealing with binary data like images or files. They allow Node.js to handle raw data even when it doesn't come as a string or object. Question 15. What is the difference between spawn function and fork function? Both are used to create child processes, but spawn function is used for general child processes. Fork function is used specifically to create new Node.js processes that can communicate with the parent process. Question 16. How do you handle errors in Node.js? Always use try-catch blocks for synchronous code and .catch or error callbacks for asynchronous code. Also, don't forget to handle the error event when working with streams or servers. Question 17. What is process.nextTick? Process.nextTick tells Node.js to execute a callback after the current operation but before the event loop continues. It's useful for small tasks that need to run immediately after the current function finishes. Question 18. What is the difference between process and thread in Node.js? A process is an instance of a running program. A thread is the smallest unit of execution within a process. Node.js runs on a single main thread, but it uses background threads in its libuv thread pool for heavy tasks like file or network I/O. Question 19. How can you improve the performance of a Node.js application? Here are some quick tips. Use caching, Redis, or in-memory. Optimize database queries. Use async functions. Use clustering for multi-core systems. And, of course, avoid blocking the event loop. Question 20. Why should we hire you for a Node.js junior role? This one's personal and a chance to shine. Here's a sample way to answer. I've built small but real-world projects in Node.js. I understand the event-driven model, async programming, and API creation. I'm eager to learn and grow, and I'm confident I can add value to your team from day one. And that's it. 20 commonly asked Node.js interview questions every junior developer should know. If you found this helpful, don't just scroll away. Hit that like button, share it with your fellow devs, and subscribe for more bite-sized interview prep videos.